Hello students, welcome back to my channel Rachna Study Point. Student, today we will study a new chapter of class 9th, chapter 4, A Truly Beautiful Mind. It is from Beehive. In this video, I will tell you introduction of the chapter and summary. इस वीडियो में आपको मैं जो भी पैराग्राफ बुक में दिया गया है उसकी सारी एक्सप्लेनेशन मैं इंग्लिश में आपको दूंगी और लास्ट में समरी और इंट्रोडक्शन भी रहेगा साथ में. स्टूडेंट्स, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई विल टेल यू अबाउट अल्बर्ट आइंस्टाइन. अल्बर्ट आइंस्टाइन was born on 14th March in 1879 in the German city of Ulm. For about 2.5 years he couldn't speak, and when he did learn to speak, he uttered every word twice. His playmates called him Brother Boring, and his mother regarded him a freak because of the abnormally large size of his head. When Albert Einstein joined school, his headmaster regarded him as a stupid and good for nothing, but he proved them all wrong. The story recounts the life of outstanding scientific personality Albert Einstein from his birth till his death. Now students, I am going to tell you introduction of the chapter. This chapter is about Albert Einstein. He was a great scientist. The title of the chapter, A Truly Beautiful Mind, refers to Albert Einstein. This is a short biography of his, where some of his qualities have been highlighted. Albert's interest in mathematics and physics, and also his humanitarian attribute. The title, A Truly Beautiful Mind, makes one wonder that how can a scientific mind be beautiful? It is so because in this lesson we come across another aspect of Einstein. He was a humanitarian. He advocated world peace, non-violence, and that is why the title refers to him as a truly beautiful mind. Now students, I am going to give you detailed summary. Albert Einstein was born on 14th March 1879. He was born in a city named Ulm in Germany. When he was a child, no one could predict that one day he would become a great scientist. He was like all other children. Albert's mother thought that Albert was a freak because he didn't behave, talk, or look like normal people did. He was different from other children of his age. He behaved abnormally. It seemed as if he had lesser intelligence in comparison to other children. Albert's mother thought that the little boy's head was a bit too big in comparison to other children's heads. Albert Einstein started talking when he was 2.5 years of age. Finally, when Einstein started speaking, he used to repeat the words. Einstein remained to himself all the time. He used to play with himself only. From the very beginning, since his childhood, he loved mechanical toys, such toys in which some kind of machinery was used, such as automated cars, automated airplanes. When his sister was born and he looked at her, he couldn't see her feet. He was wondering where the baby's wheels were. That means the feet of the baby. As Albert Einstein used to play with toys, and all the toys had a set of wheels. To him, Maja seemed to be a toy too, and so Maja was name of Albert Einstein's sister. He might have thought that where were her wheels. The headmaster of Einstein's school told Einstein's father that Einstein would never be successful in whatever profession he chose. Einstein was a very good violinist. He learned playing with the violin at the age of 6 because his mother wanted him to learn to play it. All his life he was an amateur violinist. He played the violin as a hobby, not as a profession. Albert Einstein was a very good student. He went to school in Munich because his family had moved from Ulm to Munich when he was 15 months old and scored good marks in almost every subject. The school where Einstein went had a very strict discipline, which he disliked due to that he often clashed with his teachers' opinions and opposed them. Stein was so suffocated in that school. He couldn't follow the strict discipline and so he left the school forever. When Albert Einstein left the school, 1 year before that, his parents had moved to another city, Milan, which is in Italy. Albert was left behind in Munich with his relatives. The school in Munich was very strict. Albert couldn't follow the discipline over there. He had a long discussion with his family, relatives, and finally his parents agreed to put him in a school in Switzerland, and the language used there for communication was German. Stein was good at study. He was highly gifted in mathematics, so he was exceptionally good in mathematics and he also had interest in physics. Once he finished school, he joined the university in Zurich. Science was not the only thing that appealed to Einstein, who was a very handsome young man. Other than science, he had interest in something else also. Other than math and physics, Albert Einstein liked one of his fellow students. Her name was Mileva Maric. He thought that she was very clever, sharp, and intelligent. Then they met at the University of Zurich. Mileva Maric belonged to Serbia. She came from Serbia to Switzerland because the university in Zurich was one of the few universities in Europe which gave degree to female students. Stein felt that Mileva was a friend because she also liked art, literature, or music. Both shared this common interest. In those days, having interest in art, literature, or music was not considered to be a good. So, those people who were interested in art, literature, or music used to call their opponents. Albert Einstein's family and many people in the university were not in favor of this. So, against such people, Albert Einstein and Mileva Maric unity helped them face the situation. Albert Einstein and Mileva Maric fell in love and they exchanged love letters to express their feeling. They used to write such kind of letters where they used to mix science with their feelings. At one instant, Einstein talked about his scientific invention and said that he would be very proud on that day when they would finally conclude their paper on the theory of relativity. In the year 1900, Albert Einstein was 21 years of age and he completed his graduation from the university but was unemployed. From 1900 to 1902, Albert Einstein was working as a teaching assistant and gave private lessons also. Finally, in 1902, he got a job in Bern. Bern is a city in Germany. He got the job of technical officer in patents office in Bern. Stein was supposed to check the inventions done by other people and give them a patent. On the other hand, secretly he was making his own inventions too. Stein later said the desk on which he worked was the office of theoretical physics because there only he started working on his invention. In the year 1905, Einstein published his first paper. It was about special theory of relativity. In this publication, it was written that the measurement of time and distance is not absolute. It depended on something else. According to the theory, if there are two clocks and both are moving, they will not show the same time. One clock will move faster than the other. This theory of relativity gives us this basic formula of physics. E stands for energy, M for mass of the object, and C for the speed of the light in a vacuum. Einstein said that when you sit with a nice girl for 2 hours, it seems like 2 minutes. On the other hand, when you sit on a hot stove for 2 minutes, it seems like 2 hours. That's relativity, so person would feel the timing differently. Though he was solving the complicated problems in physics for the world, his personal life started becoming problematic, started to fail in his personal life. Albert Einstein wanted to marry Mileva Marik soon after he finished his study, but his mother, Pauline Einstein, was against this. Pauline thought that Mileva Marik, who was 3 years older to Albert Einstein, was very old for him. Pauline thought that Mileva was very intelligent to be a wife, and she told Einstein that Mileva was also like a book and was similar to him. As his mother was against this marriage, he cancelled his wedding with Mileva. Albert Einstein married Mileva Marik in the year 1903 and they had 2 sons. Their marriage failed. As Mileva Marik was very intelligent, being a housewife, she could not cope with her ambitions. She could not fulfill her ambitions and so she started becoming unhappy. Mileva was unhappy from this marriage. She couldn't fulfill her career dreams. So finally in the year 1919, after prolonged fighting, both of them separated. Albert Einstein married the second time. He married his cousin Elsa. At that time, Einstein married Elsa, another thing coincided. It was Einstein's rise to world fame. Einstein became world famous. Everyone acknowledged him as a great scientist. In the year 1915, he published one more paper which was based on general theory of relativity, which gave a new interpretation to gravity. In the year 1919, there was a solar eclipse which proved that Albert Einstein's general theory of relativity was correct. Albert Einstein had calculated in the year 1915 that in the year 1919 there would be a solar eclipse. Due to it, the apparent position of the stars would change to some extent. His calculation was accurate, so it was announced that Albert Einstein's work was a scientific revolution. In 1933, when Germany came under the power of Nazis, at that time Einstein left Germany and shifted to United States of America for. After 5 years, the Germans discovered the process of nuclear fission, the process through which atomic bombs are made. This process was prepared in Berlin. Due to this, all the physicists in America were upset as they feared misuse of the technology. There were many scientists who escaped to America because of fascism, which was started in Europe from Italy by the ruler of. All the scientists were afraid that the Nazi could misuse the atomic bomb. Albert Einstein was requested by a colleague, and so he wrote a letter to the President of America, Franklin D. Roosevelt, on 2nd August 1939. He warned him that the atomic bomb which was developed by Germany was very powerful. If one of these bombs exploded on any port, it would not only destroy the area but also it would destroy the surrounding territory. This shows Einstein's humanitarian quality. He wanted good for the people. He wanted peace in the world. This is why he wrote his concern to the President of America and warned him. Albert Einstein later had an impact on Franklin D. Roosevelt. The Americans developed the atomic bomb secretly and dropped it on 2 cities of Japan, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The Germans had just developed the atomic bomb. They didn't use it on any country, but America did. Lot of destruction took place and Einstein was shaken. He wrote an official letter to the United Nations Organization. Albert Einstein proposed to form a world government, but this letter didn't bear any fruit. For another 10 years, Albert Einstein was involved in world peace. He was involved in politics and his agenda was to stop the countries involved in collecting arms and developing weapons. He campaigned for world peace and democracy. His main agenda was world peace and freedom of people. Einstein could foresee the future when he died in 1955 at the age of 76. The world celebrated him as a visionary. He was a world citizen and scientific genius too. Now student, summary has been done. इंट्रोडक्शन हैज़ बीन डन. अगर आपको हिंदी में एक्सप्लेनेशन चाहिए तो प्लीज़ कमेंट बॉक्स में जाके कमेंट करें. थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग एंड प्लीज़ सब्सक्राइब माय चैनल.